be sharing my screen, obviously.
Yes. All right. Yeah. So we're now recording. So Bonnie, go ahead and take it away.
Okay. Well, welcome to day 2. We're on track 2, ability. Our build your consulting business now summit. A little housekeeping. We're going to be speaking for 45 minutes, and towards the end we'll be having a few questions for Blaney, and then we'll have a 15-minute personal break. The song will be, I believe, Shining Star. Make sure to turn off your cell phones, any distractions. We really want to lock in what Blaney has to say today. So let's all take a deep breath, open our mind and heart to all that's going to be shared with us today, and so we can open our brain to learning here. So welcome, Blaney Teal. I love that name. And I really thought you are the passionpreneur coach. What a cool thing. And you're also a Next for Success Accelerant. Is it Accelerant Academy? Is that what you have?
Accelerator, but close enough.
Accelerator Academy. But here's the best one to get. A mompreneur. Your first business was at age 7. Oh my gosh. And you're the founder of Making Business Connections, MBX. And you just expanded your business nationally. That's cool. But actually you're international because this is an international summit. And hey, Blaney helps business owners implement strategies, and we all need a strategy. And she also helps us with systems because we are business people and we are trying to do so many things, and she's going to help us shorten that learning curve, saving you time and money. So with that, we're going to let Blaney share what she has to share, and I'm very excited to learn from you, Blaney.
Thank you so much for having me today. It's great to be here. And yes, I am actually international. I do have clients and customers all over the country, thanks to, the virtual atmosphere that we're in today, like being on this summit. So today I want to talk to you about, and I am going to share my screen in just a moment, but I want to share the title of my talk is When the Student is Ready, the Teacher Will Appear. And out of context, you might not understand what that means, but I want to share with you why I came up with that title, and then we'll get into how I'm going to help you and all of that great stuff. So many years ago, I was in business for myself, and I, had a lot of blinders on. I thought I knew it all, right? That's the way you think you are when you're an entrepreneur. You know everything, and some things were holding me back. And then one day I went to a summit, something like we're doing today, only in person. Back in those days, they were in person. And this presenter got up on the stage, and it was like she was speaking to me, directly to me. And nobody else was in the room. And I heard her message loud and clear. And so from that message, I realized that I, as the student, was ready for a teacher. And I was ready to open up my horizons, right? Open up just my mind and my mindset to take on some additional training and just accountability and all of those things. So today we're going to talk about why you need a coach. You're starting a business. Again, I don't care if you're brand new, you're a startup, you've been in for many years, you have a business, and there's a time in your business where you cannot do it all anymore. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and walk through some slides. And I think you guys will love what we have to do here. So let's go ahead. Hopefully everybody can now see my screen. Let's see. I lost the Zoom.
Yes, I see your screen.
Okay, fantastic. So I lost my Zoom, but that's okay. So we will get this going. Let me see if I can change this up here. Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. Okay, well, anyway, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Can you guys still see my screen? No, it paused because I moved it. Sorry, guys. All right, well, we're going to just go with this. So here we go. Bonnie was gracious enough to already introduce myself, but I wanted to let you know who I am and why should you listen to me? And she went through a lot of those accolades. I've had multiple businesses, and the first one was literally selling crocheted wreaths to the nuns in my school. That's what I did to raise my Christmas funds, right? It was amazing. And then I actually had a crafting business for many years. And then I got into home sales and a settlement officer. And I actually ran a kids consignment sale that I started that was not a franchise for 11 years. And the reason I tell you guys this stuff is because I've been where you are. Whether you're a startup, whether you've been in business for 5 years, you're taking your expertise, right? And you're turning them into a business. So it's time to figure out how can you do that more effectively, right? I also worked 20 years with another business alongside of it. I am a mom, a proud mom, a mompreneur, and I'm divorced. So I do a lot of this all by myself. I was the 2020 Maryland Leukemia Lymphoma Woman of the Year, which is a fundraising efforts to raise money for LLS, which was an amazing opportunity to get that word out there. And like she said, I am the founder of Making Business Connections. It used to be called Maryland Business Connections because I was only in Maryland. And now we are national, so we renamed Making Business Connections. So I want to show you this photo because I want to get you to know, like, and trust me and realize I'm a real person here and I've been through your struggles. So you can see the picture on the left was one of the crafting businesses that I did. And I made these amazing, they were called crystal fabric figurines. I sold them to stores around the world. I wholesaled them. So I was a student in school, right? I was probably in this picture, maybe 15, and I would go to school all day and then I'd work all weekend and I'd go to craft shows and sell them. And then I would, of course, I had a business that people bought these and I wholesaled them. The one on the right is actually another craft business I did called English Smocking. And probably today, nobody knows what that is, but it is an art. It is a form of needlework. And I used to make custom dresses for little boys and little girls, little girls, and then little outfits for little boys. And I, again, would spend my days working on this stuff and then I would sell it. So that was my first entrepreneur kind of journey there. But I want you to realize that I've probably been where you are at some point in my life. And from that, I've learned some lessons. So the kids consignment sale was the one I think that I learned the most lessons on, right? Because I tried to do it all myself. So if you're starting or you've been in a business for less than 5 years, it's probably time that you look at getting a coach. And if you are a coach, even coaches need coaches. And I know you guys know that, right? I mean, coaches need coaches. I have 3 coaches myself, and I am a business coach. But there's different types of coaches out there. There's life coaches, right? There's relationship coaches, health coaches, financial coaches, emotion code coaches, spiritual coaches, executive coaches, and of course, business coaches. So today we're going to kind of focus on the business coach side of it because that's what we're here to talk about. Using your expert ability to start your own consulting business, right? That's what you want to do. So you need to have a business coach. And you might be looking at me like, oh, I know everything, or I can figure it out. I'm good at Google, but why do you want a coach, right? Why do I have coaches? Why do coaches have coaches? Let's just think about that for a moment. You cannot be a solopreneur forever if you want to scale your business. Trust me, I think the biggest mistake that I made for those 11 years of running the consignment sale was thinking that I did not need a coach and that I didn't want to invest in a coach. And what I learned is that was a huge, huge mistake. I should have gotten help and I should have gotten direction. And if I had, I sold the business, it was great. But imagine what could have happened if I actually had a coach. We might have gone national. Who knows? Right? We might have been able to take it outside of Maryland if I had somebody to help me walk through it. So, number one reason why you want a coach is because a coach is 100% committed to your success. That is why they're there. They want to see you succeed. Pretty simple. Number two, they're going to make you look at things from a different perspective. And I want to talk about that for a moment. So a lot of times, you don't always want to hear the truth from your coach. Sometimes they'll say things like, have you tried this? Or maybe you should think about taking this route. And I can tell you from my experience, when my coach says something to me that I don't like, I immediately put up like blinders, right? I immediately go, no, 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 no. I don't want to do that because it puts angst in me. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's fear of change. Maybe it's the fear of the unknown or the risk. So I'm going to give you a little piece of advice right here. When they make you look at something from a different perspective, obviously, number one, they're doing it because they're committed to your success. But number two, I want you to take a deep breath and I want you to say to them, I'll sleep on it. Because your brain, your unconscious brain will go to work and start to figure out if you can actually make that switch or that change or that implementation. And I cannot tell you how many times when my coach has said to me, hey, let's take your business in this direction. For instance, with Maryland Business Connection, we talked about taking it nationally. And I was like, no, no, no. For 3 years, it's been Maryland, Maryland, Maryland. I don't want to go bigger than Maryland. And then I said, okay, let me think on it. How would that look? What would that look like if I was national? How would we structure it? Would I be able to make that work? Because there's only one of me and I'm used to doing all 20 events in Maryland. I can't be in 50 states or 5 countries. So boom, I went to sleep and my unconscious brain went to work and it started making me figure it out. And I woke up and I said, oh, I have some solutions for that. I think this can work. And boom, here we are. You know, I've totally in the last September 1st is the day I officially announced that we are now national. Not everything is in place yet. I still have to get my systems, but I was open to his suggestion that we look at this a little differently now. And I'm so glad I did. So that's my advice. Don't give him an answer. It's okay to give him a no answer, but just sleep on it. See how it resonates with you overnight. And then if not, get up the next morning and ask questions. Well, this might work, but how do you see this working? It's okay. All right. Again, they're going to help you see blind spots. I can't tell you how many times they've kind of taken the other side perspective for me and said, well, have you thought about this? You know, or see where I'm missing holes in my business plan. So they'll help you see blind spots. They also help you get back on track and they can keep measures of your progress, right? It's really important to track your progress, no matter what it is, whether it's in memberships or if it's in efforts that you're putting out there and contacting people or how many podcasts you're on, how many summits you're on, but they will help you get back on track. If you made a goal, right? I think goal setting's on here. It's coming up too. Goal setting's a big one. So if you're not hitting your goals, they're going to help you say, let's go back and revisit that. Do we need to adjust your timelines? Do we need to, maybe you can't do 5 podcasts a month, but you can do 1. So they're really good at that. And you need that, right? So they're going to hold you accountable and that's going to help you reduce procrastination. And I can't tell you, I think the number one reason I love my coach is the accountability part of it. Because if I know that I'm meeting with on a weekly basis or a monthly basis or a daily basis, whatever that would be, that I know he's going to ask me, hey, did you do what you said you're going to do? And he's going to hold me accountable. And so I will get it done. And I am a procrastinator because I have so many things on my plate. I always say I'm really not a procrastinator. I'm a prioritizer. So I have so many things on my list. I have to prioritize what comes first. It doesn't really mean I'm procrastinating. It's just meant I chose something else that's more important to get done today. But sometimes we have to rearrange those priorities. And your coach is going to help you do that, right? They're going to help you. And they're going to inspire you to be a better version of yourself, whether it's working on your mindset, right? I have an amazing abundance mindset because I'm working with this emotion code practitioner and she is my coach. And when I have angst or anxiety or something's blocking me for something and I'm having some kind of a setback, I will get on the phone with her and we will work through that block. And you know, that is something that is priceless. And I can't tell you what that does for my mindset so that I can get up every day and I can give the best version of myself to my clients and my customers. All right, I got a few more for you here. Here they are. So it also helps to destroy any limitations that are holding you back. Sometimes as, you know, when you have your own consulting business, maybe money is holding you back, meaning you fear of not having enough money, fear of spending too much money, or sometimes it's just the fact that you don't think you're getting paid what you're worth or you don't charge enough for what you're worth. I think that's one of the biggest things my coach has helped me with is helping me get paid what I'm worth. And I know women particularly, this is an issue for women. Women, for some reason, I'm a giver. For many, many years before I became the Passionpreneur coach, I gave away all of my stuff for free. And because I love it. And I want to help people and I'm passionate. But you know what? Money is an energetic exchange, right? So if I'm giving you value, then I deserve to get paid. So hear what I'm saying, right? So if you think of money as an energetic exchange, it's like giving you a thank you. Blaney, you did a great job. I learned something from you. I want to pay you for that time and for that knowledge. So as a business owner, you have to get over that fact. I used to have a friend that had a business and she was a a professional organizer, and she never ever asked for the bill. Like that, she never give the invoice. She would do the work. She would never ask for, give the invoice, never ask for the money. And I had to teach her, like, it's okay to set your rates, disclose them up front, and then present the bill or the invoice after you're done the work. And I don't know if it was fear of they weren't going to like what she did, or it's just fear of the fact that she doesn't feel she's worth what she did. So your coach is going to help you get through that. And again, they're going to push you through any fears or setbacks, and they're going to remind you of your why. I promise you, you guys have all seen the graphic where it says everybody thinks success is a straight line. And then really success goes like this, right? We know it's, and then you go back and then you go forward. There is always, always setbacks in success, but you learn from them and then you start over. I'll share this little story with you guys. So bad things happen to good people. And about a year and a half ago, I was sued for $1 million against my business and me personally on a case of fraud that I didn't commit. I did not do anything wrong, but I chose to work with the wrong person in my organization, right? That person was not a good person. That person did things they shouldn't do. And therefore that person that he owed money to came after me. Now I didn't do anything wrong, but I will be totally honest with you. I felt like crawling under a rock and dying, because I had built this business, making business connections, for 3 years. I had 400 members, and this guy was trying to steal my business like from me or make me shut it down, right? And then he was going to come after me personally and make me lose my house. And I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, but you feel like you want to die, and it's horrible. But then I remember a book I read called The 4 Agreements. And the 4 Agreements, if you don't have that book, you need to get that book, because it is going to change your life. So number 4 in the 4 Agreement is, are you doing your best? And if you are doing your best, then that's all you can do. And so I knew in my heart of hearts, I didn't do anything wrong, that I did my best, and then I decided to fight the lawsuit. So I had to get a lawyer, all that great stuff, but my coach helped me through that. My emotion coach got me through that. And we realized that no matter what the outcome, I'll be fine, but I wasn't going to let them tarnish my integrity, right? To tarnish who I was. And I went to fight it. And I got out of it okay. It was settled, and I won't say I won or I lost. It was a settlement, but I got out of it. And what I learned from it, and my coach, the point is the coach was there the entire time going, Blaney, when you get out of this, we're taking your company national. So he kept me on the road to say, don't worry about these setbacks. Your why is that you want to serve more people, and you could do that by going national. So as soon as that lawsuit ended, then COVID started. Literally, I settled on like February 28th and COVID hit March 13th. So I wasn't able to launch, the nationally as fast as I wanted. But you know what? As soon as that was over, we started implementing what we needed to do, and my coach got me back on track. So when bad things happen to you, or you lose your way, or shiny objects is another one, guys. You all love the shiny objects out there. You want to try this, or you buy it and you don't even use it, right? That's even worse. So your coach is going to keep you on track and make sure that you don't get, sidetracked. And again, goal setting, I talked a little bit about that, but they're going to sit down and do crystal clear goals with you, whether it's your marketing, whether it's how many contacts you want, or whether it's, getting your website done. They're going to make sure that you have a timeline for everything. And that's going to keep you accountable. So it goes back to the accountable one. All right. So better focused. Again, talking about the shiny object syndrome. Your coach is going to keep you focused on what is most important. We talked about the prioritizing instead of procrastination, right? So they're going to help you figure out, what do you need to work on now, and what can you table for later? And that's really important. Otherwise, you're going to get overwhelmed and do nothing. I promise you. I use Trello, and I have all of my needs now, later, someday, and I track, and I brain dump into that. And it's amazing, because if I didn't, I would probably just sit there and be frozen and be like, I don't know what to start on. I love all of this stuff. So your coach is going to sit there and say, all right, what do we need to do this month or this week or this year? And that's really, really important. And then fruitful brainstorming. My other favorite part of my coach is calling him up and going, oh my gosh, I got an idea. What do you think about this? And we try it, we role play with it and we play it out. And sometimes they'll be like, oh, I love it, that's perfect. And sometimes they'll be like, that's good, but let's table it. Or, you know what, that doesn't align with your messaging, or whatever it might be. And sometimes he comes up with ideas and we brainstorm around those ideas. And, it's so great to have somebody that, yes, you can brainstorm with your girlfriends, you can brainstorm with colleagues, but when you're brainstorming kind of highly sensitive things, you want to do that with somebody you know, like, and trust, like your coach, because there might be some information in there that you don't want your best friend to know about, because who knows if she shares it with the wrong person who might end up getting there first, right? Or accidentally sharing it with someone who steals it. So having a coach gives you that confidence, right? And you can be vulnerable with your coach. You can talk to them about your fears. You can talk to them about what's going on in your life. And if you have some issues with accountability, you can say, here's what's going on in my life and why I'm struggling. And then they will help you learn new skills, whether you like it or not, right? They may push you to be a presenter on a summit like this. They may push you to write a book like we just heard in the previous session, right? They may actually push you to learn and do something that's outside of your comfort zone. And that is what is so important and why you need a coach. Hopefully you guys got that, right? Everybody's got that for sure. And then lastly, here is really the most important reason why you need a coach. And I don't care if whether this is a life coach, a relationship coach, a financial coach, spiritual coach, coaches in general are going to help you get from point A to point B faster. And that's what I always say. I am the Passionpreneur coach, and I help people with the technologies, systems, and automations. That's my little niche, right, of what I like to work with. And I help you get from point A to point B faster without breaking the bank. Because that's another whole topic, and we're going to get there in a minute, about like, when do you hire a coach? And, should I invest in a coach? And what kind of a coach should I get? And how do I find a coach? So that's what we're going to move into now. So I hope that you realize, I don't care if you are brand spanking new in a business, whether you've been in 5 years or even 10 years, because your coach is going to evolve. Whether you have multiple coaches for different things in your life, or whether you get new coaches as you evolve, right? So getting a business coach is not a sign of weakness or failure. It's actually a signal of success. Think about that for a moment. Just because you have a coach doesn't mean that your business is failing. It actually means that you want to succeed. And I promise you, since I have gotten my coaches, my business has 10 times improved, probably 100 times improved. I can't even tell you how much it's improved. But if I was still going at this alone, I can tell you I would be stuck. I would be stuck in my own way. And you know the definition of the word insanity, right? It's in doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. And that's kind of where I was in my consignment business. I literally did the same thing in day out. I might have had some new ideas. I didn't plug into other mentors. I didn't even collaborate with other consignment owners, which is something you should do, guys. Like, you should be collaborating with other people in your space. And sometimes they're great power partners and you can learn from them. And I wasn't doing that because I was in my own way. Oh gosh, I got this. We were making $500,000 a year selling kids used stuff. I was successful. I was happy. But imagine if I had actually embraced a mentor or a coach and implemented some different ways of doing business instead of doing it all myself. So don't get in your own way. So let's talk about, like, how do you find a coach, right? So number one, I think everybody struggles with this when you think about hiring a coach. It's like, oh gosh, I don't have the money to invest in a coach right now. And first of all, that's the mindset you need to have. It is an investment. It is not an expense. Now, yes, you can write it off your taxes as an expense, but you cannot see it as an expense. As I already said, every time I work with a coach, my income goes up, not down. So if my coach doubles my income, that is the best investment you can make. So you got to think about it and not worry about the dollars. You cannot worry about the dollars. So it's not how much it's going to cost you to have a coach. It's how much it's going to cost you not to have a coach. That's really important. So if you are on a budget and you're new and you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of profit in your business right now, well, number one, you need a coach. But number two is you can start with group coaching. And I offer group coaching, and a lot of other coaches do. It's a great introduction to coaching. It's usually more affordable. Sometimes it's a monthly fee, just depending on who the coach is. Sometimes it's still a year-long commitment, just depends on the coach. But it's usually more affordable because you're in smaller groups or sometimes larger groups when the detailed information is being delivered. So it's a great place to start. And then if you're looking for either a group or even just an individual, you need to ask for referrals. Asking for referrals is really the best way. You can Google it, but as you guys know, there's a lot of fake news on the internet. There's a lot of false information on the internet. So, and people can pretend to be really awesome and then not deliver. So be really careful if you're just Googling, business coach in Maryland, if you want to work with somebody locally. What's really neat right now about business coaches is you can work with one anywhere in the world and do it on Zoom. They do not have to live in your neighborhood or in your state. So that opens up a lot of different opportunities. And just because a coach is doing it part-time doesn't mean they're a bad coach. Okay, so doesn't feel like it has to be somebody because I have multiple businesses and I'm a great coach. And there's lots of coaches out there that have multiple businesses. So don't let that hinder you being like, oh, it has to be somebody that only does business coaching. All right, we got a few more here. There we go. All right, so I highly recommend that you interview the coach. Okay, it's really important that you take the time to ask questions. And right now, I would do it on Zoom. Because you need the eye contact. You need to hear their inflection. I'm high energy. I cannot work with a coach that is super laid back and quiet. I will totally tune out. They have to have similar energy to me. And the same goes, believe it or not, I have all types of people that I coach with, and some of them are very laid back, but they like my energy because it gets them energized, right? So, so you just have to figure who do you click with. So by doing a Zoom, you're going to, there's one coach that, to be honest with, I don't like the sound of her voice. And every time I'm on a call with her, and she's not my personal coach, but I've been in some group coaching with her, it's annoying. So again, you got to make sure that you're comfortable with the person on the other end of that Zoom call or that phone call, because you don't want to be distracted. You want to be 100% present. So another thing to ask when you're on your Zoom, right after you take a look at them and you see their mannerisms and their voice and what they're saying is there a trial period? Now, a coach cannot guarantee you success because you have to do the work. And if they can give you all the amazing tips and tricks and tools, they can literally write down their roadmap to success that got them from 0 to 7 figures and give it to you. But if you don't do the work, guess what? Nothing's going to happen. So they can't guarantee your success. However, a lot of coaches will have like a 30-day trial period, which means there might be a year contract, but you have 30 days if you want to get out of it because it's not a good fit, right? As long as there's not a lot of work done on the other side of the coaches. If it's a marketing coach and they're doing all your social media campaign, that's not probably going to fly. But if it's just doing one-on-one coaching and you're trying to work on your business, most of them, may have maybe it's a 2-week trial period. But the reason to ask is there are times when you start working with that coach that you might realize that that coach is just not a good fit for you. And if it's not, you need to get out right away. Don't waste your money. Just get out right away and find. There are so many great coaches out there. So don't waste your money. Don't feel like you're stuck. And then how long is the contract? So like in my academy, it's month to month, because I feel that if I cannot deliver my clients, right, my customers, at least one nugget or one piece of information per month for their investment, then I don't think they should be in if it's not where they want to go, if it's not the group for them, then I don't want to keep them in my group. So I have a month to month. But a lot of coaches do make you sign 6 months or 12-month contracts because success is not overnight, right? So if you're trying to get you from point A to point B and you stop right at like at point A and a half before, before you get to B, you're not going to have success. So they want you to be committed, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's very, typical to have a 6-month or a 12-month contract. You can still usually pay it on time, or sometimes they do make you pay it up front. But whatever it is, just make sure you are choosing a good coach. I have heard horror stories of people that have worked with coaches who they paid a lot of money for, who, kind of flaked on them. And that's not good, right? You don't need a coach that flakes on you. So just be careful. That's all. But just find one that works, and you'll be thrilled. In a year, what will happen to you? Oh my gosh, when you look at where you started and where you end from point A to point B, you will be so glad that you invested whatever amount of money that coach needs to get you where it needs to be. And then when you're interviewing them, ask for referrals, and then call the referrals. Really important, guys. Say, who have you worked with that you've changed their business? Like, who have you made an impact on? And then call that referral and say, hey, have you worked with this person? Yes. What was your thoughts? Whatever. And just talk to them, because you need to make sure that it's a good fit for you. This is an investment, not an expense. So we need to make sure that you get your, return on investment, right? That's what they call it, ROI. You want to make sure that you get return on your investment. And you can definitely do that by choosing the right coach. All right. So we talked about, there's the easy way and there's the hard way, right? So the easy way of proving and moving your success is, of course, to get a coach. And, the hard way is to go at it alone. And that's not what we want you to do. That's not what we want you to do. We want you to go at it and find a coach. So I'm going to actually stop sharing my screen for a moment, and then we'll come back, because I want to just talk to you again for a moment. And I want to help you understand that a lot of people ask me when is the right time to get a coach? Like, when do I need one? And honestly, I think you need one from the beginning. And again, it can be baby steps. But you need a coach, because doing it alone is going to cost you time, and it's going to cost you money. I promise you. I cannot stress that enough. Coaches are going to change your life. And if you just take the time to find the right one and believe in them, they believe in you, you are going to get your return on investment. Hands down. I just cannot tell you that enough. So if you don't have a coach, and if you have a coach, maybe it's time to get another coach, because you can have two. You can have one that works on the finances of your business, a financial coach that makes sure that you're not spending too much money on shiny objects, right? Because people have niches, right? I don't really believe that, business coaches are one size fits all. I'm not going to help you with the financial end of it at all if you coach with me. But what I will do is help you get your lead magnets done. I'll help you get your funnels done. I'll help you implement CRMs. I'll help you, that's the kind of stuff I like to help you with. Making sure that you're using social media on automation. Those are the kind of things that I will make sure that you get done quicker. And that's what I'm good at. So if we have any questions, now's the time. If anybody, I think I covered everything that I needed to cover. Otherwise, Bonnie, I'll throw it to you. If you have any questions you want to throw at me, that would be great.
Yes, I'm going to look right here for no open questions. So I'm just going to ask questions. I loved your presentation, number one. You were very clear on why we need a coach, the benefits of having a coach, and what's that going to bring us for our bottom line is absolutely success, and to be able to go where we want to go, wherever that might be. And I love that your idea of that you could have different coaches. That was a very, very good point, that we should all realize it's not one size fit all. And that's the really juicy part. Is I love that you'd have the different coaches, and they might be at different times, maybe not all at the same time. But if we have a guiding light with us, then things become of ease. They're easier to do. So I have a question for you. Being the mom that you are, how do your kids, I know you must be coaching them all along. How do they like having a mom for a coach?
My mom, my kids love it. Actually, I'll tell you a quick story. My daughter cannot believe So she'll sometimes walk in my office and I'll be doing a live stream, right? I'll just be like doing this, right? This is not scripted. I have no notes. It's all up here. I use the slides kind of guide me. So she watches me do these presentations and she'll just stand at the doorway and watch me. And then when I'm done and I'm not live anymore, she'll go, Mom, did you do all of that from your head?
That's
And
great.
she's
From
so
your head.
impressed that I do that. Yeah. And I said, you know what? When you speak from your heart, guys, you don't need to script it, right? If you know your stuff, you don't need to take notes. And if you're not there yet, you'll get there. I promise. If you're not comfortable yet with just speaking off the cuff, you know, practice doing your own lives, right? But yes, my kids love it. My both of them. My daughter is starting to be an entrepreneur. She's 13, and she's starting her own business as well. So she loves it.
Mm-hmm. And that is really exciting. You have now encouraged the next generation. I love those pictures of you when you were younger too. That was so cool. When I was thinking about coaching, which I've had some myself, and I loved your point, and everyone take down this point of finding the right coach, because that was really important. I have had coaches when I went, would that I might not have chosen the right one. I would tend to get really excited and go, I've got to do this right this minute. But I also love the idea of just think it over. Did that feel good? Do you like their voice? I love that one. That was a good one. Do you like their voice? And, but no matter what, it sounds like a coach, even if maybe they weren't the perfect coach, they moved you from point A to point B and kept you moving forward. Because without that encouragement, sometimes we stall out. I've done it myself. Stall out and then you're mad at yourself or whatever. But if you have a coach, that encouraging, maybe poke, prod,
Yeah.
not only that, but the different perspective. That was
and you know what else you just brought up to my brain here was, you know, your family and friends get tired of you talking about your business.
Oh.
And when I didn't have a coach, I found I was always calling my mom to tell her about my great ideas or run this, or I was you know, when I was married, I was talking to my husband who cared less about what I did. And, you know, it was like, I was wearing them out because I was so excited all the time about all this stuff. So when you have a coach, instead of calling your family, you can call your coach and be like, oh my gosh, I just, on this summit, I'm so excited. I'm going to be speaking, right? Instead of blabbing it to your friends and family who are like, oh, there she goes again.
Oh, I relate to that. My sisters all thought I was the strange person in their family because they're like, oh, you're not like us. But so when you think about coaching, is it usually like once a week or once a month or once a day? What kind of, or does that go back to the different kinds of coaching?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There are different types of coaching. So there are monthly coaching where you just get like one call with the person per month.
Mm-hmm.
There's weekly accountability, weekly calls. And yes, it just depends on the program and the person. So you just have to figure out, do you need daily accountability? You know, sometimes it's that bad, right? And especially in the beginning, you might need daily or every other day accountability. And then you could go to weekly and then you can go to monthly when they got you on the track and you're on. And like, I'm pretty much a self-starter, but I know not everybody watching this, there's going to be some introverts, right? There's going to be people that are very different personalities who need a little more hand holding, right? And you just have to find that coach that's going to bring that best out in you and then figure out, well, okay, I can work once a week and check in with them and get the next task and stay on point. But yeah, it's very customized to you and then who you choose as your coach. But there's everything out there. So you just have to figure out how much help, how much accountability and contact do you want with that coach.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then when you start working with a coach, what would you say a person's expectations would be when they probably have a vision and they've had this conversation with this coach? And then what would you encourage people to expect so that they might have really high expectations or maybe not very much, but what expectations would a person...
Definitely, yeah, manage expectations is huge. And I believe that's something that the coach will set up. Like I set that right up front. Like I said, in my academy, you know, I expect that you should grasp at least one really new tool implementation. You should do something each month. That's the expectation I put out for them. And they know that from me, they're getting 4 hours in my academy, one hour a week, but they know they're going to get some nugget that's going to change their business profoundly. But again, success doesn't happen overnight. And I think that's the biggest thing. You say, oh, I'm gonna hire this coach in 3 months, I'm gonna make 6 figures, or 7 if you're already at 6. No. So, that's why they do want you to work with them for 6 or 9 or 12 months, because it does take time. I started with my last coach in January, and now now we're finally taking my business national, but we've had a lot of steps along the way and some setbacks with COVID, right? Because we had to rethink a lot of things. So just know that your coach really does have your best interest at heart. So sometimes they might have to slow your roll if you're really, really excited, and they're like, wait a minute, before you can do that, you need to do this. And they will help you make sure that you don't kind of put the cart before the horse. Because that happens a lot, especially when you're an excited entrepreneur, you're passionate. I mean, my tagline is, I help people turn passions into profits, right? And I'm working with people that are really passionate about what they do. And all they want to do is give, serve, serve, serve. And of course they expect money, money, money. So it doesn't always work like that, right? It just doesn't. So just know that, work with your coach, open-minded, like I said before, have that open, abundant mindset, because they've walked the walk. Hopefully you're connecting with somebody. Like I said, people can say they've made 6 figures when they haven't. They can say they've made 7 figures when they haven't. So just be careful that you are working with someone, and also make sure it's someone that's currently active, meaning, oh yes, 22 years ago I made 6 figures and now I'm a struggling coach, right? Just be careful. Make sure that they are really still walking the walk. And that's the thing. I never recommend tools or tips or services to my clients and customers that I don't currently use, right? Because I want them to be using the best and have the best knowledge. So just be careful, because, there is a lot of lip service out there. And I'm not trying to scare you guys, but do your due diligence. And again, make sure that there's some kind of a trial period or something that you can get out quickly if you realize right away, because you will realize within a couple of phone calls if, oh, God, this person. But remember, this is important. Just because they're making you suggestions and they're feeling angst, that doesn't mean they're a bad coach, right? They're stretching you. They're making you think outside the box. They're picking holes at your blind spots on purpose, right? So that doesn't mean they're a bad coach. That actually means they're a good coach, right? It's like, do you want them to be nice, or do you want them to be real?
Yeah, exactly. So and that is a really good point. So you might feel pushed from them, but do you think of coaches a peer, a boss, a parent, or I guess a collaborator would be the best word? But give me a word or two of what the relationship looks like.
So I think of them as a partner.
Okay.
Your coach is your business partner, because they care about your success as much as you do. So you need to treat them with respect, right, to their knowledge and their success that they've already had. So yeah, a collaborator is great, but I think if you have the mindset of this is a business partner and they want success for you, just as if you had a real partner, right? That partner wants you to be successful. So think of it that way, and respect what they have to say and what they are putting out there for you, because if they've walked the walk and they're where you want to be, then that's the best person to follow.
Well, Blaney, what an amazing presentation. You've given us so many juicy nuggets to find the right coach. And right now we would like for you to explain your offer and your coaching to us.
Fantastic. So I'm sharing my screen again to make it easy for you guys. So I actually have 2 offers. So one is a free offer, and this is a magazine that I produce every month for my clients and customers, and I'm gifting that to all of you for free. And this particular edition deals with, the COVID-19 setbacks and ways that you can connect with if you have a staff or with your customers during COVID. So you just want to use bit.ly/all capital next mag August. You'll have immediate access. You can download the magazine. It is in full color. And I just want to say thank for all of you that are in this summit, because this summit has been amazing. The presentations I've been on so far are outstanding. And then I do have a way that if you would like to work with me. So if part of your business is getting systems and automations and tools implemented, then I'm the coach for you. So I do this really cool 5-day business reboot. It is 1 hour a day live training with me with homework, because you got to be accountable. And there's also prizes because I'm fun. So it's 1 hour, and there is recording. So if you are not able to be on live with us each day, it is the October 19th through the 23rd It is 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for those of you, because I'm in Maryland. But the recordings are there, and you get the recordings for 2 weeks. I don't leave them up unlimited because, again, I find procrastinators will never watch it anyway. So we want you guys to watch it. We want you to participate live. It is absolutely fun. So I have, it's bit.ly/launch and soar. And you want to put that all in lowercase in that particular one. It is normally a $47 challenge, and it is just $17 for everybody that is part of the summit. So I hope that you will join me on that. We will be covering mindset, skill set, tool set. We'll be mapping out your roadmap to success, and we'll be doing some productive and engagement supercharges, I call them, because we want to supercharge your business. So for any of you that are looking for that kind of a coach, then I would absolutely love to work with you. And what I love about this is you'll be able to see if we're a good fit or not to take it to the next level.
What an amazing offer. I love that. Supercharge your business. Woo! And your magazine looks fabulous. This is the part where all the juiciness just came out. You've given us amazing amounts of information that we can take and find a coach. And hopefully they'll be reaching out to you. And then you've just offered us some really ways to taste and feel and understand who you are. And thank you so much for your presentation. Thank you so much for the gift that you've given everyone. And we look forward to hearing more from you in future Build Your Consulting Business Now summits. And with that, we're going to ring off here. And again, thank you so much, Blaney. Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. And